that Grand Funk supposedly blew Led Zeppelin off the stage that night, a feat almost unthinkable given Zeppelin's live power. Now, there are 3 reasons why we should believe this story. Number 1, the timing. This supposedly happened right when Zeppelin were still climbing, before they were unstoppable giants, and in those early days they were powerful but not yet perfect. It's entirely possible that another band could outshine them due to the fact that they had not yet become the titans of classic rock that we know them as. Meanwhile, Grand Funk was in their prime as a touring act with a huge cult-like following all over the United States, and that combination makes the story at least possible. Number 2, fan testimony. Fans who are actually at the show have repeated the story over and over again. You don't just forget something like Led Zeppelin being blown off the stage. Some people swear that that night changed their entire view of both bands and live music. Oral history in rock, like in any other thing, isn't perfect. But when you hear so many people saying the same thing, it does add weight. And of course, Mark Farner has been out making the rounds, giving interviews, talking about the experience, and he wrote about it in a book. So, number 3, the raw power of Grand Funk Railroad. Grand Funk Railroad had built a sound specifically to play for arenas with massive volume, pounding drums, high energy jams, and a strong working class charisma that connected with audiences. They may not have been as technically dazzling as Page and Plant, but in a sweaty venue with thousands of fans, raw power sometimes wins out over finesse. And on the right night, at the right time, that raw power could definitely have given Grand Funk the chutzpah to outdo even the immortal Led Zeppelin. But here are 3 reasons why it might not be true. 1, Led Zeppelin's reputation. Let's be real, even in their earliest days, Led Zeppelin were stunning audiences everywhere they went. It's hard to imagine that, in this case, Grand Funk was so good as an opening act that Peter Grant actually pulled the plug on the band before they could finish their set. It sounds perhaps like an exaggeration that came into the story over time. Which brings me to my second point, the game of telephone. Stories in rock history tend to grow bigger and bigger and bigger with each retelling. What may have started as a simple Grand Funk Railroad really played well that night in Detroit, and maybe even better than Zeppelin, could easily morph into they blew Zeppelin off the stage, and after decades of embellishment, you get to the point where the story becomes Peter Grant unplugged Grand Funk Railroad's equipment in the middle of their set because they were going so well, they were going to blow Zeppelin off the stage. That sounds like a classic case of myth-making. Point number 3, band rivalries and ego. Sometimes stories are fueled by rivalries, even if the rivalry is indirect. So Grand Funk supporters may have pushed the tail to elevate their heroes against Zeppelin, while Zeppelin fans dismiss it outright. The truth might be somewhere in the middle. Both bands could have been amazing that night, and there may have not been a clear, quote, winner or loser in that particular performance. But over the years, the story has come to be more of a competition. And one myth has endured from this story, which is the idea that Zeppelin was blown off the stage. Now, here's the most obvious question to ask in my mind, which is, if Peter Grant unplugged Grand Funk Railroad's equipment during the middle of their set, how did he know at that point that Led Zeppelin was going to be blown off the stage? Led Zeppelin hadn't even taken the stage yet. Grand Funk was in the middle of their set. The set could have gone on to become boring, or it could have dwindled out, or the excitement could have petered out. Zeppelin could have come out and played better. So the idea that Peter Grant was watching in the wings and thinking, this band's playing a little bit too well, I think we'll unplug their equipment, it seems like a stretch to me. It also seems like more people would have come out with the story before we heard it. But on the same time, Peter Grant's quite well known for pulling a lot of melodramatic stunts and going over the top at an almost Spinal Tap level to protect Led Zeppelin from any threat that he perceived. So at this point, I'm going to say I think what probably happened was Grand Funk was playing really well, and they may have been going on longer in their set than they were supposed to. They are a jam band, so they may have got caught up in their playing and lost track of their time, and Peter Grant might have been agitated about this, and then that morphed into the story that Grand Funk was blowing Led Zeppelin off the stage. But what do you think? Did Grand Funk really blow Led Zeppelin off the stage, or is this just one of those great stories that keeps the magic of rock and roll alive, even if it never happened? And there are many, many stories like that surrounding Led Zeppelin, by the way. So drop your comments below. I want to hear your take. As I say, I'm not sure I believe the story as we have it. I'm not sure I believe that Peter Grant unplugged the equipment, but it's a great story. Whether it happened or not, it's a great, great story. And it goes to show how Spinal Tap moments and other, exaggerated memories and murky sands of time can actually add excitement and glory to the past sometimes, and I think that's a pretty cool thing. This is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.
Music Guru here, asking you to help us on our march to 10,000 subscribers.